Hello and welcome back to another episode of Timeless or Trash. I am your host for this episode, James, and joining me as always is...
Ben,
Dan,
and Christian.
And this week, in celebration of the release of the 9th Fast and Furious film coming out, today we're going to go all the way back to 2001 and watch The Fast and The Furious. I am so excited about this one. This is a franchise I love. It's absolutely mental. The 9th one looks like it's going to throw even more rules out of the window. But what do you guys think of this film and, the franchise as a whole? We'll start with Dan.
It's obviously a long time ago that this film came out. I think I watched it when it first came out, and I don't think I've watched it since. I remember enjoying it. It was a bit of daft fun. There was stupid cars, stupid characters, just a daft, silly film. I'm looking forward to watching it again today. Will it appear tame in regards to the now ridiculous state that the Fast and Furious franchise is in?
See, this is why I'm looking forward to going back to this first one, because watching all the new ones now, it's going to be very interesting to see where this franchise came from. Christian, what about you?
Well, this film is 20 years old. This franchise has spanned 20 years. So obviously it would have been weird if I hadn't seen any. But out of the now 10 films, I haven't seen a single one. Obviously, I know about the sort of huge impact this franchise has had, specifically concerning the later films, but I don't know. It's just one of them franchises where I keep saying to myself, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to watch it from beginning to end, and I've just never had the time or the money to buy all of the films and then sit and watch them.
Go on then, Ben. What about you? What's your relationship with Fast and Furious?
Viewers of the channel will know me and James don't usually see eye to eye a lot. I am completely on the same page as James.
Yeah.
It's a glorious franchise. It's dumb, but it becomes dumb, and it knows it. It knows it's a movie. So yeah, we'll have a magnetic plane in a car, drive off a cliff or whatever. I'm also very curious to check this out. Is it going to be any good? Is it going to be any dumb? How humble is this? Will it be like a bit mediocre in comparison now? I can't wait for this. Very excited. I'm ready to go.
Before we get started, what should everyone at home do, Ben?
They should like and subscribe.
Of course.
And check out our other videos.
Yeah, we recently just started a new series that we finally got uploaded, I've never seen, where we take a look at those, cinematic masterpieces we should have seen. This series is very different to that. And on that note, let's watch The Fast and the Furious. So there you have it, guys. That was The Fast and The Furious 2001, where it all began. What do we think going back to this one?
It's not very furious, is it?
Vin Diesel got pretty angry at times.
I was gonna say Vin Diesel got pretty furious out of nowhere most of the time.
There was some furious scenes.
Vin Diesel only had kind of 0 or 100, didn't he?
Yeah. This was 2000, 2001. No, it was 2001, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a very 2001 film.
This is like the most early 2000s film I've ever seen. Like, what a time capsule this film is.
Compared to what these films become, this is quite a dry film. It's quite a simple film.
Is it that simple, Dan? Do tell me the plot then.
I honestly couldn't tell you the plot. I don't understand what really happened.
Again, it's not that complex.
I think that was the problem.
Yeah, you get too fixated on little details that you don't quite understand. Like, why is the battery so big? But why is Jesse driven off? And then you stop listening.
Why did Jesse drive off?
Because he's panicking that he'd lost his car, or his dad's car.
Not good enough. I'm not even saying I didn't enjoy this film, because it was entertaining. It was just really like... it's nothing, there was no plot. There was nothing happened.
The plot is Paul Walker is undercover police officer, infiltrates gang he thinks is stealing Panasonic DVD players, thinks it's the triads, racially profiles the triads and gets them arrested.
Well, he doesn't. He pushes to say, I don't know if it is them. We still need to get more things.
Okay, someone else racially profiles the triads and gets them arrested. Then he comes to the realization that the guys that he's become friendly with are actually the ones stealing the Panasonic DVDs, and then he lets them get away anyway. Boom.
Because friendship was the real prize or whatever.
I think the problem is there's no real hook in this film. There's no main antagonist. There's no big climactic set piece that we're building up to. It's loads of little set pieces all the way through, and then the film just kind of fizzles out.
The useless, not relevant drag race was meant to be that, and it's not.
Yeah. Why do they just both stop at a red light and decide to have a drag race? And then during that drag race, why does a train is that what we're building up to in this film? Like that that this one drag race? Is this
There
the
is no
the
reason
climax?
why.
Exactly. There's
there
no
is no
stakes.
reason.
You've got to admit, though, that's quite a cool little thing if they spend so much time on it's all slow motion. Is the train going to hit them? It doesn't. And then he gets wiped out by a truck. Like, that's almost
Yeah.
kind of funny.
And then, and then he gets wiped out by a truck. Then Paul Walker rescues Vin Diesel from the wreck of his dad's car. What happens then? Vin Diesel drives off in Paul Walker's car, and you get the payoff of like, oh, I owe you a 10-second car. Then Paul Walker walks off, and the film ends, and nothing is resolved. He didn't get revenge on the triads.
He did. They died.
I was going to say.
They died.
They killed them both.
Yeah.
During the car
Remember?
chase at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did not watch the film.
One thing I noticed watching it this time, which I think is a nice little detail, there is a very definite shift in Paul Walker's attitude when he's with Dom and when he's with the police. Like, he is putting on a persona when he's undercover.
He does well on the job. Like, he thinks quick when he's trying to look at the cars or whatever, and he quickly thinks of that excuse while with a shotgun in his face. He does well there. He's not too bad at his job, I
And
don't think.
he's the king of stealth.
He
Yes,
definitely
I'm
would have
sure
been
none
seen,
of them
man.
saw you.
Yeah, he definitely would have been seen.
Ben, he was slightly hunched over. They couldn't have seen him.
You got to rate it though. The guy who gets caught up in the truck at the end, who had the beef with Paul Walker, he nailed him from the get-go. He knew there was a bad vibe about him. He's like, "Why are you ordering a tuna sandwich? That's really weird." He's obviously a police officer.
Why, of all the sandwiches you could order in the Los Angeles heat, why would you want a tuna sandwich?
In it, man.
Oh, can I have tuna with no crusts, please?
Yeah, no crust. Not very manly.
I'll tell you what was manly, when Vin Diesel turned into a car for a second.
Tom's just in the car, he's like, I am the engine now. It's really weird how small this film is in scale. We're now, like the last film that came out, Fast 8, Fate of the Furious, we have like huge submarines crashing through ice. The Rock like slides out of a car and pushes a torpedo over his hand. This one, it's about stealing some DVD players.
Yeah.
It's weirdly quaint.
It's a very interesting and strange franchise to kind of watch because it doesn't know what it is until the fifth film.
Yeah, for sure.
We have 4 films of them just going, oh, we'll try this because for some reason they've made, because of cars and hot women, it's made money, and they've kept like proper going around this circle of we're just about making enough to keep this going, and now we figured it out suddenly by the 5th film. But it's very strange.
I had never liked, the initial incarnation of Fast and Furious because it was just a little bit dumb. It was very masculine and very kind of like humorless, and it's all very much kind of look at these horrible garish cars and look at this crime, and not necessarily glamorizing it, but just very childish kind of films,
They're all men children in it who are like, oh, I'm so manly and muscly, haha, look at him, he's doing the dishes.
And that's
for a
kind
woman."
of that's personified in the guy having a go at Paul Walker for doing the dishes, calling him a woman and telling him to clean the car. It's like, it's just pathetic.
So Fast and Furious 1 to 4 kind of passed me by, but then Fast 5 came out. I remember going to see that at the cinema and thinking, this is actually quite, like, I am enjoying this because they've done something.
Dwayne Johnson, they added Dwayne Johnson.
They added Dwayne Johnson.
That's what they did.
Yeah, but also the humour in it was a little more kind of my thing. It wasn't hilarious, but I remember finding some of the characters quite funny. Like Ludacris was quite funny in it.
Tyrese especially.
Ludacris and Tyrese work really well together. There's a reason they put them together in every film after this.
Yeah, they'd broadened the appeal of it.
Say that about the later films, I'm sure they're more timeless than these early ones because boy is this film dated. At least those later films, they're just like kind of action regardless of the era they're set in. This is so early 2000s. We're talking about the early music, the graphics in terms of like having a computer in the car. I don't quite. I guess that's. I don't know about NOS. Boy, do they say NOS a lot.
It's got a nice fogger system. Tune the NOS.
Got enough NOS and it blow himself up. You're lucky that 100 shot of NOS didn't blow the welds on the intake.
I need NOS. And he ordered 3 T66 turbos with NOS.
They really, that's a cool thing at the time. Very, dated stuff, man.
The mad thing about this film is, I said it partway through, I'd barely call them street races for at least the first like half, maybe 2/3 of this film, because they have the one street race, and then after they've escaped from the police, there's a party back at Dom's house, then there's a barbecue, then 2 of them go out on a date to a restaurant. It's like, this is just social gatherings. Like, they just get together and hang out, and then occasionally they'll they'll go and do a street race. I wouldn't call you street race.
There is a lot less like cars and driving in this film than I remember. The one thing I find really sort of weird watching it now, and like I'll come to you on this one, Christian. You know when they're doing the whole, ooh, who's in these cars with the underglow? Was there any point where you thought it might not be Vin Diesel?
I don't know. At first, I thought they were going to go for it is Vin Diesel, and he's going to go hard on accusing Vin Diesel, and then it's going to turn out it's not.
That's what it feels like.
When they did the pull away where it was like, oh, he's going hard after Hector, and he's going hard after Johnny Tran, I was like, okay, so it is Vin Diesel then, because they're going to go after these, realise, oh, we've got the wrong person.
It feels like they are setting up for the reveal of, you think it's really obvious it's Vin Diesel? No, it's not, it's someone else. But then we get the sort of reveal that it is Vin Diesel, and it's just kind of like, oh, well, yeah.
Our protagonist's arc is he goes from being a sort of straight-laced, maybe a little rebellious, but clearly respected undercover police officer to being a corrupt cop. And at the end, when he becomes corrupt and lets Dom go, you're meant to be like, yay!
You're not. It's like,
the criminals win.
It's hard for me to comment too much because I just knew going in. I did like that there was zero hint that he is not a police officer.
That was a good twist.
Till he gets to, it's not a bad twist. Like your first act, maybe near the end of your first act, 30 minutes in, and it's like,
It's a good first act. I think it's a good start, and it is a good end. I like the end. It does lull a bit in the middle.
I would like the end if there was some like a real reason for it. They just have a drag race for no reason.
Looks cool.
It's not enough.
Right, I think, it's just about time that we answer that question that everyone's come here to answer. Is it timeless or is it trash? I'm going to come to Ben first.
It was a quaint little start. It's quite cute watching it, knowing where it goes, but it's really a bit dull and not very exciting. Other than Tokyo Drift, they're not that great until maybe 5. This is trash.
Dan, what about you?
Well, I agree with Ben, what he said. First act was pretty good, nice setup. Lost its focus after that. It became aimless and without any tension. It's definitely trash.
And Christian, first time viewing, what did you think of The Fast and the Furious?
It's nice that I got to start from the first one. I'm excited to see like 9.
With no context.
With no context as to how we get from this to there.
I'm so excited.
After the first act, I agree this film gets kind of dull. It really badly lulls. I think I'm going to have to give this film a trash.
Right, well, I'll bring us home and I'll just say, do I think this film on its own is that good? No. Like Ben said, it wasn't as good as I remember it being, but because I love where it goes so much, and I just enjoy seeing where these characters start and where the relationships form and that, I do still enjoy going back and watching this film. So I'm gonna give it timeless, but say I understand why you guys gave it trash.
Yeah, and you know what? I understand why you're giving it timeless as well. Because taken as a whole, perhaps this franchise is timeless,
But there we have it. The spacemen from Pluto have, as a majority, decided that The Fast and the Furious is trash.
You embarrass me!
I don't know about you guys, but I'm also in touch with my feminine wiles like Paul Walker. Clip!
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
So yeah, thank you all for watching. Please, if you did like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe. We're well into this series by now, so we've got loads more videos down below if you want to check them out. We've done some films for this series at this point. But until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye.